Grind don't stop. 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 Grind don't stop.
Hello.
Grind don't stop.
Welcome back to Chew Gum. This is a show. Oh my god, wait, should I get my screenshot of the yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. One day I'll memorize it. Today's not that day,
Perfect
but I will
description
at
that
some
somebody
point.
put for you. Yeah.
The perfect description. The perfect description. Okay. A show about rejecting purity culture, challenging misogyny, and the effects of religious trauma on women. I'm gonna also add an amendment: women and femme presenting people, because I think that that's also important to include here. Also, in moments like that, sometimes I'm like, and this is my job. And I started it and I said, wait, I don't have the description.
Yeah. Oops.
And what are you gonna do? And oops, what are you gonna do? Today is December 9th, and it is a very happy Tuesday to all of us. We have Lux with us today. Hey.
Hello. Always good to
Who
be
joined
on
us?
the Gum.
Who joined us, even though they're not feeling so hot. And that's really nice and very cool of
Had
you.
to be
So,
here anyway. So and now I
yeah.
get to be pretty and also here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so who's Anna Kasparian coming for
Anna
me?
Kasparian works or
Is it the
worked
Young
for the Young
Turks?
Turks. Yeah.
Why is she coming for me?
I don't know. That's actually so interesting. Have her call in.
Well, that would be really scary because she's very
I will do that.
intense, and I hope that that is Monkey at Typewriter wrote that, and
Mhm.
I am going to Will, you let me know if that's real. Don't give me a heart attack like that at this time. Um, okay, so we are going to make this a 90-minute show and then super chats. We want to be mindful of time. I'm saying this at the top of the show so that when we are a little shorter on calls, oh, okay, it was a joke. It was a joke. I'm so glad that was a joke.
Oh, because you were being trans inclusive. That's what the joke was.
Oh,
Got it.
how dare. How dare I?
Offensive.
Gosh, I know. Anyway, did you see the list of words that the Trump admin does not want included any longer in their documentation? In their words for head employees to avoid when describing their programs?
I did. I think I saw that Arden posted part of it because some of the phrases that they added were like biological female and biological male. And she pointed out on her
Yeah.
Insta, like, those are your words. That's what you decided to
Yeah.
call us. That has nothing to do with us. Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy? It's also like, I put it in my story because someone else pointed out that female and women are on the list, but male and men are not on the list.
Girl. I would not have
And
like
that's like,
told you that would have happened, but I wouldn't be surprised, like
yeah, it's like, and among all the other things on the list, like climate crisis, climate science is on this list. Can you fucking imagine?
we're all
I
gonna die.
can't. We're all gonna die. And it's one of those things where I try very hard to be very, very like balanced and nuanced, but it's at the point now where, like, if you still support Trump, I really don't know what we have in common any longer. I think we're not there anymore, but anywho, if you are wanting to call the show, I think we have only one line open still. You can call 720-619-2288, or you can use the web link that's in the description. And I think that's all. Oh, and we'll do our super chats of $5 or more. We'll read them at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Anything else?
The schedule. I have it.
Okay.
So the schedule for this upcoming week, because I know that nothing is scheduled on the channel right now. Arden was gone, but she's going to be back tomorrow, I think. So for our upcoming schedule, tomorrow is the 10th, where we will have the Hangout with Matt Dillahunty. His guest is going to be Brady Goodwin. We have the TACIS on Thursday with Josie Caballero and myself. Then on the Sunday show, the afternoon show, or I guess it's technically still in the afternoon. We're doing it an hour earlier now. So if you want to catch Matt Dillahunty on the Sunday show, you're going to need to tune in at 1 p.m. Central Time. That's Matt and Promise is going to be on there. The evening show will have Forrest and Justin. Ooh, I'm excited for that. That's a good team up. And then I'm pretty sure we're doing another 8-hour long Skeptalk with Forrest and Erica on Monday.
Wild.
I know. I mean, I'll order pizza that night, and it kind of makes no difference to me otherwise. I'm going to be sitting here either producing or playing video games.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's not so bad if you're producing, because you can you can like eat pizza, you can hang out.
I can leave.
Hosting a show
I
like
can go
that,
to the bathroom or whatever. Yeah.
Hosting a show like that, I think, would break me. Like, I would be able to do that only if I was able to then take like 2 weeks off to recover. 8 hours.
Yeah, it would be brutal. I usually do 4 hours from my own streams, and I'm like, I need to just dial it back to 3 and just let that be my default from now on, instead of trying. I'll take a mid-stream break at about 2 hours. I go to the bathroom and rest my voice and stuff, but it's a long time to just talk. And it's
That's
not
a
like
really
on
long
here
time.
where I have a co-host to like bounce off of. So it's like 4 solid hours of just me talking.
That's crazy. The 8 hours, I'm also thinking about how like a usual work day would be 8 hours.
Mhm.
But even when I worked a regular corporate job, I needed to take breaks every hour. I was not.
You have downtime. You go to the bathroom, you go fill up your water at the water cooler, like you have
Get a
breaks.
snack. Yeah. I need breaks regularly. Okay, so we have a call from an atheist. Oh, I thought they were a theist. I guess not.
I'm also confused.
Yes, that is really interesting, and I really want to hear what they have to say. Are you ready for this call?
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. I'm going to pull in Jay, who is calling from Virginia. Hello, Jay. Are you there? Jay?
Oh, hold on.
No, don't go.
Jay? Yeah, there
Okay,
you go.
great.
That was my fault.
I was doing research on AI that I came
Okay.
across a book. You ever read about the last question and the last answer?
No, what is that?
It's about we're so far advanced in develop AI that AI evolves to like a godlike and evolved to a super intelligent godlike that could save our space from disaster. That means the space is it's dying. It's like it's about to explode. The stars exploded, and then the space became nothingness. So the supreme God sacrificed itself to restart the process again, restart life, space again, the Big Bang.
Is this based on the Isaac Asimov story?
Yes.
Okay. Are you proposing that we have reached that point with AI? Because I would assert that that is very far from where we're at with that.
Yeah, the science theory, AI could save us from it. It said
The
we
A-
knew it's like a godlike. It said like a godlike could do it.
I think that
So
the issue that I run into is like the AI doesn't really do anything without being prompted. Have you seen any situations where
yeah.
AI has done anything outside the framework of its established parameters?
Not yet. We're getting to it. It's still in the beta of stage.
Okay.
Okay. Well, but what makes you feel like that story is proof? Because it's a story and it's science fiction, and what makes that story more true, such that it feels
Well,
like proof to you more than other science fiction stories?
if I get to believing in a super intelligent atheist or be a nihilism, that means I believe that that space could destroy us, and there'd be nothing that could create us back again. So I just believe in this because it's like hope for humanity.
You believe
I
it's hope for humanity?
Yeah, please expound on that.
Yeah. Uh. Uh. It could do good things for us. Uh. It could solve stuff. We have a lot of problems. It could solve everything. Solve poverty. It could solve. Uh. That's one example. I'm trying to think of another example. It could solve global warming. It could solve. Uh. That's
Can I
two. I
just
can't
ask,
think of any.
when you say that AI could solve these problems, what does that look like to you? Does that look like the AI like superseding human authority and determining for us on our behalf that it's going to start doing things? Like does it possess the body of one of those freaky Boston Dynamics robots, and then we have AI ghosts who are just like gonna use like how? Like, are they gonna use violent force to force people to care about the climate change? Is the AI going to start hacking itself into this computer systems of like major electrical systems and like make them stop working because the way that we do that is like destroying the planet? Like, I guess it's like speculative, right? So I'm not saying like I'm demanding that you have all the answers, Jay. I just think that this is one of those areas where people maybe don't consider all of the kind of practical steps in between where we are and where we could be there. And then I would also kind of question like, why are we investing our attention in the idea that AI might be able to do those things, like stop climate change, fix hunger, and things like that, rather than like devoting our attention to just doing those things with our human hands?
Because we because we learn at a slow pace, and we need something that's faster to learn.
But how is it going to do the things was kind of the question that I had. How is it going to
Yeah, like
do
what
the stuff?
it's even if AI is crunching all the numbers and creating whatever answers for us, we still would have to like execute whatever plan that they bring to the table, which if I mean, the thing that I'm thinking of is like specifically with climate change. There are things that we know would help reverse climate change, and we tell people to do them, and we can't get everyone on board. And it's like, I mean, I know it's like largely corporations, and it's the same thing. We know that we have an answer. It's not that we don't have an answer; it's that we can't get people to follow through. So what makes you feel like the follow through would be different if AI is providing the solution?
Yeah, like remember when Elon
think-
Musk said, "Hey, if you just tell me the plan for how to fix world hunger," and that organization was like, "Yeah, it would cost literally exactly this amount of money. Here's how we implement that plan." And Elon Musk was like, "I cannot see. I can no longer read." Like we could have. That man has enough money to stop world hunger in its tracks, but we just don't have the political will to do it. So that's kind of why I'm bringing up this, like, how is AI going to intervene on this? Because if human beings know, okay, we've known for over 100 years that the industrialization that we've been doing is going to cause human related climate change that is going to worsen the whole planet, and that has happened because there's all this money involved. So does the AI decapitate the top 1%? Like, I don't know practically what you think is going to occur.
Yes, it will.
Oh, well, that's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, because we cannot control AI. It's got to learn to adapt. Like, species of monkeys have to learn how to survive.
I'm
And so
completely
they
sorry. I
Sorry,
did not understand that
survival.
sentence. Can you just repeat that sentence for me one more time?
When the monkeys try to survive, try to survive.
Did you say
Do you
something
think
about
that
Very
monkeys?
intelligent.
I'm just going to ignore that because I want to know, do you think it's a good thing for Skynet to destroy humanity to protect us from ourselves? Like, are you hopeful that that's what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's scary.
'Cause I want to
Why?
see this happen. I want to see this happen. I want to see that
Why?
movie actually true. Because it's amazing that we did create a God that could destroy us.
And so you want them to destroy us? You want AI to destroy but then what's left? Just a bunch of computers talking to each other?
I think Jay was suggesting that
No,
we would need to like simultaneously have an all-powerful AI that could then like reboot human existence like after
Oh,
our inevitable
okay.
destruction. Is that kind
But
of the vibe, Jay?
how?
Yeah, literally how.
How?
that while we're still in a beta, so it could happen. It's just a
But it
theory, a
can't.
scientific theory.
AI lives in programming. It lives in machines and screens. Like, how is it going to recreate human life?
Uh, I probably when we get there.
Is
That's the plan.
Okay. I mean, it's a really interesting speculative conversation. I just don't. Okay, so it just seems silly because yeah, the LLMs, people think, oh, they're so powerful, and like, yeah, sure, it will tell me basically what it thinks I want to hear. Like, yeah, my chat GPT, when I plug in the data points about COVID and I ask it like what we should do, it recommends all of the public health things that I already know that we should do. So like, cool, that's great. But the other forms of AI that we have are like, let's locate the tissue in the breast that will become cancerous later but isn't yet, right? So
Mhm.
I guess, is there some part of the field of AI that you think is particularly likely to go this direction? Because we don't even have a general intelligence at this point.
Uh, we're learning about trying to think. You need the emotions to have thought. So it have a conscious. We're still was a theory that we still don't know what conscious come from.
Well, I mean,
So
that's not really the case. I mean, I don't know. So it's interesting to think about, like, where does consciousness come from for a machine? Like, we know that consciousness is an extant function of just having a brain that's complicated enough to have social hierarchy, basically. Um, so yeah, I mean, like I said, like, it's an interesting conversation, Jay. It's like, in my opinion, pretty impractical to think about very much because the global economy is going to collapse in about 15 years. So it's like, we're not going to have computers. When people are like, ooh, we're going to have this sci-fi future. Girl, no, we are going to by necessity have a degrowth future because there's no way to continue sustaining the way of life that we have right now. So, I mean, it's like cute and fun. And I like science fiction. I like speculating about science fiction. It's just if you actually think that that's the direction we're going to go, I don't agree, to put it mildly.
I think we don't have
Oh.
nearly enough evidence to build beyond the speculative part of this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Are you going to make
But,
it happen? Are you
well-
working in AI? Are you like, I'm going to build Skynet? Because is this your supervillain arc, Jay?
I don't have enough. I have to go to school and learn about programming and stuff to create it.
Well, somebody has to make the AI that's going to save us after AI kills us all, right? You know, if you're gonna, I can be your devil or your angle. You know what I mean? Like you can work on the AI that's going to save everybody.
Yeah, I hope.
Well,
I don't know that I have a lot
thank-
else to say.
yeah, thank you, Jay, for this very interesting conversation. We will be definitely thinking about this further. But we'll let you go and we'll get to some other callers. Thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, I literally
You
always
do
hang
that
up while they're
every
saying bye.
time.
Every
It's so funny. It's like the perfectly cut
It's-
screams, you know?
I hope that that it's like notorious enough that people who call in know that I'm not doing it on purpose, but brutal. Okay, that was like
It's just
I
a
don't
delay.
feel like yes, always. I don't what was any of that? That was very I don't know what we were even
I
That
wonder
was-
sometimes if people feel like everything is so out of their control that okay, so this is why people like Marvel movies, right? Because it's a fantasy, it's a power fantasy that
Mhm.
someone will do the right thing and someone will save you and someone will tackle the bad guy. So like I kind of think
Mhm.
that there is this thing where people just get overwhelmed at the prospect of a big thing that they can't change, like climate
Yeah.
change. And so there is this urge to invest in something that could. And like if you think that AI could become the savior of the planet, then like I get why you feel that way. I just don't agree.
Yeah. I feel like all I hear people talk about when they talk about AI is the environmental damage, and how it's going to make all of our brains mush, which I agree. Um, I, you know, I'm actually really pleased with the pushback with AI, and I think sometimes
Yeah.
it's like a little bit like, it is a tool, and sometimes it is okay to use occasionally, but like the pushback is good. Like I was just having this conversation earlier today, that sometimes it feels like it's a waste of time to push back on things that are like bigger than us, but it's important because if enough people are constantly giving you pushback, you're going to be less likely to use whatever that tool is. Like it is important to hold a little like line of resistance. But I don't remember if we talked about this on Chewed Gum yet, but did you hear about the Coca-Cola ad that they made with AI with 70,000 prompts and it still looks like shit?
I did not know that they used that many prompts, but I watch this channel that does VFX React. Like they are VFX
Mhm.
artists, and so they react. And every year now, they're like, "Oh, look at this weird thing in this AI video," and like, "Oh, they did this thing slightly differently from last year." But yeah, it's just sad, really, like how much money has been pumped into this thing, and that
Yeah.
all of these tech companies are like, can we please get a government bailout? And it's like, when is this going to become profitable? Why are you forcing this? It's because they want to completely take away the intelligence and functionality of the working class, but whatever. Technocracy.
But who said that? Who said that?
Who?
That's
I love
crazy.
those videos where somebody is talking like this and then they're like, who said that?
Yeah. Who said that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a hot mess. Every day feels like it's so stressful. And it's tough because as usual, I feel like the bulk of the use of things like that is coming from a corporate level. Like anytime you Google things now, there is an AI like summary.
It's
Like
wrong
there's nothing I
so
could do about
often.
that. And it's wrong. Almost every time it's wrong.
Yeah.
So it's like a strain on our resources, also not efficient or helpful. Stop. Just stop. No, who is asking for this?
I genuinely don't. They're just forcing it into everything. Like, I had to go and disable it in my Discord so that my private messages couldn't be scraped for AI. So everybody check your Discord settings. Go to my Blue Sky.
What?
I recently retweeted something on my Blue Sky that is like, here's the menu that you need to go into your Discord and just turn off all of these things. And I did the same thing in my
Mm,
Gmail recently. I went through and I deactivated all of the AI stuff in my Gmail. Like, can you just stop trying to
God.
force this into every part of my life? I do use ChatGPT sometimes for stuff like I'm trying to research mattresses and I need to know some
Mm,
specific things like I need to sleep cooler. I need to sleep with zoned support.
yes.
What material mattress do I need? It's literally better than a Google search because Google fucking sucks now. And
Yeah.
so if you're using it as a type of search engine or aggregate like that, it's useful. If you need something specific, I tried to ask it about something in World of Warcraft one time just out of curiosity. I was
Mm,
like, where is the person I need to get this quest from? And there's so many different versions of the game that it had no idea. It
mhm.
just was throwing spaghetti at the wall and using a lot of
Yeah.
words that I recognized, but it had no idea what it was talking about.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, I, I'm also looking for a mattress. So if you find anything good, you let me know.
Yes, I will.
But I also was using ChatGPT for that and like new sheets. I was looking for because it is good for I also would like sheets that are cooling and not too
Yep.
hot. And so that type of stuff is really helpful. But you're right, when it comes down to stuff like that, that's when it's just like it's just not and I think and AI like art and music is just actually I had a really interesting conversation with my fiance about this because he's a
Okay.
musician. It sounds so fancy. Um
Yeah.
he's a musician and he was saying how music that is not AI but kind of sounds like AI is now going to be like I think it's going to trigger in people's mind that it feels like AI. So the example that he had is like uh, whether you like it or not, a lot of country music is really formulaic. And so
Yeah.
a lot of it sounds kind of AI. And so he was saying basically like it's interesting what's going to happen because I think it'll push people into creating differently and creating better and like having like an upper echelon of artistry because we're going to be asking more from people.
Yeah. And there's certain types of styles that we are going to just start avoiding because they look like
Yeah.
AI. I don't want to, I know we have more calls and stuff, but I've seen people be accused of using AI because they upgraded their camera or like they upgraded their stream stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you look like you're in an AI area now. Like, okay, well, I just got like a camera with a good lens and I have good lighting. So, because it's like that
Yeah.
particular AI look where everything is, like there's I don't know, there's certain things like there's never a flatness of the image. There's always a pretty high contrast in the image and the way that things are
Yeah.
framed is very particular.
Mhm.
Anyway, AI sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. It's just not doing the thing that people think it is. It's not making us I don't know, whatever.
The
Anyways,
confirmation bias
okay.
machine.
Literally, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so let me see what else we have, what other calls we have. Do you have a preference of these 2?
Um, I mean, I think one of them is gonna be shorter than the other one. I think that 3-2 is probably gonna be shorter. So if you wanted to KO that one, that would be
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. All right, let's do that. Okay. Hi, Jessica.
Hey,
Doo-doo McButtface.
Yeah, Doodle
it is.
McButtface.
Yeah, apologies, Lux. It's mostly for Alyssa, but
No
to
worries.
it's to thank you mostly. Not just
Oh,
you, but also
nice.
to Adelind, but I've not seen her on the show for a while.
Mhm.
Basically, the two of you have changed my negative preconceptions about sex working and sex in general. Not from a religious point of view. My family's always been atheist, but I was raised like in a very negative, talking about sex and stuff was taboo. And the reason it's a thank you is because had you and Adeline not made me realize that my preconceptions were uncalled for, I would now not be with the most amazing person I've met in a long time. So you and Adeline have helped form a second relationship this year.
Okay.
So,
our
that's what I
numbers are great.
call you in.
That's so great. So I don't even, part of me is like, I don't know what I said, but I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And that's also sorry, go ahead. I would like to know, actually.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I have a tendency to, go on. You finish.
Okay, I was just gonna say that that's why I really appreciate, sometimes it feels like you're like speaking out into the void so often when you're doing just stuff on the internet. But especially when it comes to platforming sex workers, like you being able to hear from them makes such a difference. Like I remember when I first started making just content in general a couple of years ago, I was interviewing sex workers, and I was doing that. I was interviewing some people who are like legitimate porn stars, like have been in the industry for like 30 years, and now they've like transitioned into like mommy porn, like all, like that kind of stuff. People who've retired. Yeah, it's like, but anyway, these were people that really were on a scale of where they were at in this industry, and I was happy I did that because it gave me a lot of information about how many times people who are doing sex work are just doing it because they love it, like because it's fun, and it's when you're doing like the cost benefit analysis, it's like this is freaking easy for the work that I'm doing that is really fun in comparison. So, that really changed my perspective because I grew up in like a Catholic house too. And there's always these like little biases that are sneaking under the surface, even if like in your brain you're like, no, I know that this is fine and everything's great. They're like sitting under the surface, and until you really hear from people that are in that experience and like living that life, then it's like, oh, I get it now. And you can be a little bit more on board. And it's a really magical thing.
It is, yeah. It absolutely is. Yeah. With her being a sex worker as well, that was like, had I first started talking to her about 6 months ago, I probably would not have been as keen, but like I say, thanks to you talking about it so openly and me just watching every show, it's kind of like it made me realize that whatever it was that was blocking my mind from just accepting that kind of thing as normal and acceptable was just not necessary, really.
You heard it here,
Yeah.
folks. Listening
And
to
she's
all
in
the
the
shows
chat.
on the line will make your life better.
Yeah. You will be in a relationship within the year.
100% better. 100% better. 100%. She's in the chat as well. I don't think she's posted much, but maybe she'll say
We
hi.
love the lurkers.
Oh my god. Hi if you're in the chat. That is so awesome, and it makes me so happy, and calls like this are always worth making because it's nice for us to hear where the impact is in like a kind of unexpected way. Like sometimes, like obviously when we have like Andrew calls or whatever, like that's a different thing. But when we have these kinds of calls, I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I'm so happy. I know.
Yeah, me too.
Wait, is
100%.
it
Me too.
diluted? Is it diluted holy water?
No. No.
Okay.
Her name is Linda.
Oh, it's your
Linda.
okay.
Claire.
They're talking about your
Linda
voice
Claire
when they
Amon?
read your texts. They're
Oh yeah,
this is so fun.
I think so.
Oh,
It's always
But
fun
yeah,
when chatters call
I'm in
in.
the Discord. I'm quite active in the Discord, so a lot of these
I love
people
it.
I recognise the name.
I love it. That makes me so happy. Well, thank you for being a part of this community. You really are like you're in here all the time and it means a lot to me. I genuinely like when I can't make a show or whatever, I'm on vacation, I really do miss everyone who's in the chat because like this is like a cutie little community that we have. And so I appreciate you being a part of it and being so active in it. You really are the best. You guys are awesome. And thank you for calling. It was really nice.
Yeah, thank you. And to the line as well, everyone. Like, I started watching about 3 or 4 years ago, and I've deconstructed a lot of my thoughts over the years and learned to be a better person and more understanding of other things and all that in general. But yeah, thank you to the line, all of you.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I wish I could hug you. A virtual hug. A virtual hug. All right, we will see you in the chat. Thank you so much for calling. We really
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Jessica.
Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna wait and then okay, good. And now we drop. Look at that.
You did it.
That was a good one. That was a good one. That was really nice. I really
sweet.
love when chat people call. It makes me so happy.
I love
also,
it when the chat
diluted
hits the
holy
like
water.
button.
Yes. I love when they also super chat because they love us so much.
But we don't have
And
very
we
many
love to
calls
eat.
today. We could get more calls if you
I
would just hit the
know.
like button. I get the little
If you
tiny
would
violin.
just hit that like
Wah,
button.
wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. I asked Jessica if she was talking about diluted holy water because I misread your message and I thought you were her girlfriend or partner. That's why I said your name. Also, someone in the chat asked me how I do my hair. It is literally a bun and my hair is naturally curly. So I pulled out pieces and I hoped that I looked like okay. So thank you so much for liking it because this
Curly,
was the
messy
laziest thing
bun.
I could have.
It's an
Yeah.
easy go-to.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, tousled. But
Mhm.
and it literally is because I did not do a thing to it. We have lines open. For a minute, it looked like we had so many full lines or so many people on, but then I guess some people got, I don't know,
Scared.
dipped. They got scared? I don't know.
Howard.
Oh, cowards, all of you. So we have a bunch of lines open. If anyone wants to call, you definitely can. And we have another call that is waiting, so we can take them. Oh, I feel like there's something else that I do. Oh, Patreon. Okay. We didn't talk about Patreon yet. Go to patreon.com/calltheline. Become a patron. You can hear the value of being a patron through that call with Jessica because I hope I'm saying her name right. I think I am. Because she's a part of a community. That is what we offer here. We offer community. We offer companionship and also really great bonus stuff. So you can go to patreon.com/calltheline. We do Line Con, which is really fun. It's kind of like it's like I don't even like little presentations from your favorite hosts and it's really cute and fun. So LineCon is great and we're doing them regularly, so you can be a part of that. And you get bonus like extended episodes of stuff, which is awesome. So join the Patreon if you love us. It supports this show, but it also supports all of the shows on the line, and it would mean very much to us. Mean very much.
There's a talk by me
Yes.
waiting for you for $5. You can see the video on demand from our
5
most recent LineCon.
5 Zwollas? That's
True.
value. Patreon.com/calledline. Okay. Oh, okay. We have some calls coming in. Okay, exciting. And we have one from Canada. Let's pull in Owen.
Hello?
Owen from Canada. Hi, Owen.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I just wanted to touch on some of your AI points also, and I was listening. As someone in grad school, I think that it's really cool for research because like it can just draw
Yeah.
sources for me that I can read a lot easier than Google can. You still have to read them because it's not very good at summarizing, but I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
And AI should be
definitely.
really good for society, specifically the working class. But because of how capitalism works, we're just going to end up with a bunch of homeless people, which really sucks.
A bunch more
Yeah.
homeless people.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
what do
just
you want to
wanted
talk
to
about
say,
today?
so for my point, I just wanted to talk about some points about male loneliness that I've watched. I've been watching this show for a long time. I've watched every VOD. I don't usually get the lives, but this is just something that I haven't really seen anyone talk about. I do think that most of male loneliness is as a result of like how the patriarchy works and how men are socialized.
hmm
But I do want to say that I don't think women are entirely blameless. I think they have a significant role in like perpetuating the way men view things and the way men see like how relationships should be like discovered. I guess if that's
hmm
the right way to say it. Specifically, I think when we look at men, I'm not really surprised that they end up having like really high standards in terms of like looks. I think most men will like have have much higher standards than I guess I don't really believe in leagues, but like they try to date people out of their league most of the time. I don't know if you agree or not.
Well, there was a survey that I know was just taken in this year. I think it was like March, April, something whatever, 2025, and it was thousands of single people in the United States, and they found that men value looks on a scale higher than women do. So I guess in that case, yes. And I do agree that women contribute to this. Of course we do, because I mean, there's a part of it that's like, well, the patriarchy hurts everyone, and so because of the way that the patriarchy has been served on a silver platter to all of us our entire lives, there are many women who are in this conversation of like, I need a manly man, and if they don't do X, Y, and Z, then they aren't a real man, and I don't want to date them. Like, there's that part of it. And then there's another part of the conversation too, where there are women on the internet who are very kind of like, fuck all the men. I don't care what you do, and I'm not fixing it. And I understand the impulse to say that and to have that feeling, but I also think it's not very productive. So yeah.
I'm in a Facebook group I joined recently called I think it's called The Male Loneliness Epidemic Isn't Lonely Enough or something like that. And it's just like a lot of it is screenshots of people being like, I was trying to have a normal conversation with a man and he turned it sexual
Yeah.
almost immediately. So
Yeah.
to be fair, that's a selection bias where I joined the group. I am now seeing that content, whatever. I'm not on dating apps. I've been married for like 13 years. So it's not really something I'm dealing with right now, but I struggle with the idea that women are at all part of the problem when I see the way that men speak to women, like casually on the regular. And like, it just seems like there's a cultural divide that men don't seem interested in bridging, and that there's like, yet again, a lot of onus on women to bridge that gap. Like, oh, well, if men are into video games, why don't girlfriends just get into video games so that they can spend time with their partners? And it's like, why don't you get up at 6 a.m. and watch Fashion Week with me? Like, where's the reciprocity here? And like, even in
Yeah.
relationships that are otherwise relatively healthy, men don't fucking work as hard. They just don't. They expect the woman to equally work and also take care of all the house shit. They are like absent fathers to the extent that you can be absent when you live in the home with your children. They're shitty and rude on dating apps. They turn everything sexual. They violate boundaries. They don't show any interest in their partners. That's another thing, is like, we are raised with this strict gender binary. I'm non-binary, so I have like kind of a unique perspective on that. And it's like hard to connect with someone when you were raised in a completely different way with completely different interests, and that it was not even allowed for you to have interests in the opposite sex's interests. So like, how are men and women in heterosexual relationships supposed to relate to one another if men don't ever try to learn about the internal world of what their woman is going through or what their woman is interested in? So I don't know. I'm not trying to say it's blameless on the side of women. I just think that it's fucking ridiculous to put like any amount of significant blame or responsibility on them when I can see how both of these groups behave. And by and large, women have just raised their standards. So if sure. Oh, and if we want to say that like women having standards is causing the male loneliness like sure, like a little bit probably.
No, I actually,
but do I think it's a bad thing? Like, no. Is that women's responsibility at the end of the day? No.
I want to say I agree with everything you said. The point I'm specifically making is that if women have any blame, I'd say maybe like 5 or 10% of the situation. And then even then, I don't know if it's their fault, because I do think it's how they're socialized. Women are socialized to be like kind and nice and say nice things to people. And one thing I think is there's just a huge communication issue between men and women, because I think women just lie or like omit a lot when publicly discussing like how important looks are, if that makes sense. Like, if you go on like a post of someone who is like conventionally unattractive and they're talking about being conventionally unattractive, the comments will be full of like, other people, other women specifically, talking about, oh no, you're gorgeous, you're so beautiful, as if like it makes them uncomfortable that this person is aware that they're unattractive. And I think that women have been socially trained to omit the fact that they care about looks. Something that's really interesting is if we look at like young kids movies and even like rom-coms, you'll usually have this like sort of average guy and then this like bombshell woman, and this guy's like kind of portrayed as like a loser, but then he gets the girl in the end. And so we're socializing all these people to think that women should not care about looks. And I think women are sort of shamed a little bit if they do care about looks. Like, just look what happens when women say they care about height. They get fucking shit on, right? So women will just stop talking about it. But the preference still exists. And then men don't think the preference is there. And so I do think there's a massive miscommunication where if women were a little bit more honest and just be like, yeah, looks matter, like that's just how it is. I don't think men.
I don't know that anybody's saying it literally doesn't matter at all, but rather that it is not one of their primary features they look for. Like, and when we're listening to women talk about what the issues that they're having with when they're dating, the issues that they have are like their partner is not interested in them as a person. They only are interested in them as a sex object. Their partner doesn't show any interest in like what they're up to and what they're doing. It's like the kinds of things that women look for in a relationship, primarily because of how many men don't do this. The thing that they value the most is a man with any amount of emotional intelligence. And so that's kind of why I think women say like, I just want a guy who will make me laugh, because that indicates a level of like cleverness and sensitivity and like relating to you in a way that they can make you laugh. Like, explain Pete Davidson to me if we think that women truly care about looks. And so,
Okay,
like I say,
Pete
it's not
Davidson's
irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. Like, is he? Do people? What about fucking
unconventionally hot.
Benedict Cumberbatch? He has got the weirdest face,
Okay.
and yet everybody's like, wow. So I don't think it's irrelevant, and I don't think that women are downplaying it, and I think it's quite silly to be like, I have just decided that women are lying. Like, girl, I don't know if you know how fucked up that is to say, but I'm gonna jump through my computer screen.
I'll also say that we're also in a place where many times when we have this conversation with men who are trying to like argue with us about it, it ends in, okay, what's the solution? And the solution is always that women have to lower their standards, which, like, you know, we've established in this call is not really the solution. And the solution has to be a call to action for men to get some of their shit together, mentally and emotionally, which would benefit them and also benefit their future partners greatly. And when in that same survey, when they were asking the recipients about like what they were looking for dating wise, the biggest trait that people were looking for, both men and women, I think they did it in a gender binary, which sucks, but in 2025, really, but I think that's what they did. For both men and women, they rated honesty as the highest trait that they were looking for. And in that same breath, the men rated physical attractiveness to be higher. And anecdotally, I feel like we see a lot of the time, like you said, like the hottest girl you've ever seen with like the trolliest looking man. It just happens. And I think that's more to speak to like, I think women are valuing physical attractiveness a little less. I know the height thing people get very up in arms about, but you know, I don't know that as a whole, I don't know about that.
The
And this is a
popularity and
generation.
acceptability of the dad bod.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we can just say that like the standards are completely different for men and women.
Yeah. And it's also, as we've moved through this whole change and how each, like, you know, how people are feeling about each other in the dating world. People are dating way less. Millennial women are among the category of people who are dating the least. They're the least interested in dating. And when they're asked why, a big answer that came up for them, a big reason, was safety. They don't feel safe dating. They don't feel safe being with men in secluded places. They also don't feel safe with the options that are available for them contraception wise and health wise. So that's a big part of it. And it's kind of like I was talking about the man versus bear thing earlier today, because when that whole conversation came up, it was appalling to me that the takeaway for the men who would call into this show was that women are stupid and logistically that decision makes no sense. Because really, the purpose of the hypothetical was for us all to take a step back and say, why was the impulse immediately bear for women? That tells us that women are so fucking scared of the men around them. That's the problem. It actually doesn't matter logistically where we land, like what actually makes sense in a practical sense. It doesn't matter. What matters is that the impulse for all of the women who answered that question was immediately bear. And for the men who are listening to that hypothetical and could not see that, I was like, how this is just, you're missing it. And you care more about winning this argument than you care for the women who are telling you to your face that they are more scared of you than they are of a wild fucking bear. So, you know, I don't even know what I just said, Owen. I just went on a little bit of a rant.
That's okay. I I think the man versus bear argument just showed that like men think that death is the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yeah.
Girl, yes, yeah.
Well, and there was another survey that I saw where they asked a whole bunch of men and women, what is your biggest fear? And for women, they said, like, you know, violence, getting kidnapped, sexually assaulted, murdered, whatever. Men listed ways of being embarrassed and experiencing shame. And that was their biggest fear, where women's biggest fear was physical harm. It's
Like their
just so
fears within
interesting.
dating,
Like,
right?
no, it was in life.
Just in
Like, what
general.
is your
Wow.
biggest fear in life? And that was, yeah. But it's like, I don't think that they put it in the context of what is your biggest fear in life, all the way to death. It's like what came to these people's mind right away was like, if you're thinking of it in a casual sense, yeah, maybe you would say like, my biggest fear is like being embarrassed at work. But the fact that the men went there and the women went to, well, obviously it's being kidnapped, obviously,
Yeah.
like there's so many things in life that we all do to make sure that we stay safe that a man like legitimately never has to think about. Like if I leave my car in a parking lot or a parking garage, I get into the car and I always look in the back seat before I like lock any of the doors or close any of the doors. Like if you've never had the experience of walking at nighttime and putting your car key or your house key in between your knuckles, it's like that's just like life. Like that's just what we have to do and do instinctively because we have no choice. So the physical safety part of the whole equation is also important because when we're having this conversation of like, sometimes I think it feels like women climbed up the ladder and then kicked it down so they can't help the men below them, but also men kind of like cut down the tree, whittled down the wood, built the ladder, climbed the ladder, and then they were like, no, you don't get my fucking ladder because I'm scared of you. And you still insist on murdering us. And you know how to cut down a tree and you know how to whittle it down. You just watched me do it and you don't want to do it. And now you're asking me to do it. That's kind of like what it feels like. And I think that's why there's this like really big resistance for women to want to help men. It's like, well, you took all my rights away and then I fought really hard to get them back. And now you want me to come down and fix it? The hell? It's tough. But then
Yeah,
I feel for men. I really do. Like that's like a huge thing for me right now that I don't know. I don't know what we do.
I just want to say like I don't really think women are that responsible. I just wanted to bring up this topic because I think it's an interesting point of like the socialization of our youth and how they grow up. And there's kind of like a core misunderstanding. And I think it's really interesting. I don't think women are responsible for it. It would be nice if they were a little more open with like, yeah, looks matter. Like I have to be attracted to you because I think lying is the wrong term. I actually agree, Lux. I think I shouldn't have said the word lying. I think omission is more like it's just not something they list off, probably for like a safety issue because if you piss a man off, then that's kind of risky.
I think you're
When they
right that
talk
they're
about
also like
Well, I mean, he's
shamed
ugly.
into that.
See what
too.
happens.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
like when you're because when the most common traits that we see for like women when they're talking about what's someone they want are all things that like every single person on the world can reasonably achieve, right? Like being funny, being kind, things like that. But as soon as you mention like an immutable characteristic like height or something that like cannot be reasonably achieved, like attractiveness, then you're, targeting people more personally and then people get defensive over that. Not that I don't think that it's fair. Like I do think it's really hypocritical for men to get upset at women for caring about looks when men primarily care about looks.
I do want to throw in here as well something that we haven't touched on, which is that your attractiveness in terms of your physicality is something that's within your control to an extent. Obviously, if you got in
Yeah,
a
to an
house
extent.
fire when you were a kid, but like this is one of those things that like women don't focus in on this, probably because like it's so rare for men to actually do it. But like a man who plucks his eyebrows, a man who like gets his balls waxed or something. I don't know. But like these little things, like women do so much for their physical appearance that like, and then of course there's the whole like men turn around and be like, OMG, you're deceiving me with your makeup skills or whatever. I couldn't tell you were wearing makeup apparently because I'm an idiot. But like very basic level hygiene stuff that men could be doing and are not doing. So like that's another issue where I'm like, this is the problem with incel culture, that they feel like there's like a terminal ugliness And it's like, I don't think there is such a thing as like terminal ugliness. I've seen some ugly fucking people in relationships. I've seen some fat people in relationships, and that's like an undesirable trait in our society. Trans people are an undesirable group to most people, and yet like pretty much every trans person I know is in at least one relationship. So yeah, I do think that, it's something to note when we're talking about, the attractiveness aspect of dating and all that men could be doing better for themselves by just, the whole like metrosexual trend, like just care about your appearance a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, good, Owen. We know you wash your ass. That's good.
I've been learning to plug my eyebrows too.
See?
Ooh,
There you
doesn't it hurt?
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
so
that's
funny.
all I had to say.
And then you get used to it and you're like, whatever. I use an
Yeah.
epilator though, like on my legs, and it just doesn't hurt anymore.
No, I have one of those like
That's-
those little things on a stick, like the scrapers, and I do that with my eyebrows, not plucking.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
The little tiny
okay.
shaver thing. Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thingy.
Okay, Lux, can you explain what an epilator is? Because that is I can't believe you use that medieval torture device.
I mean, it's just a tweezer machine, right? So I actually have a bald spot on my leg because I would just sit here and I would bring my foot up here and then I would take my tweezers and just go like yoink, 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 yoink with my tweezers.
God.
So I bought a tweezers machine, and it just like
Yes.
it rotates, and as it rotates, there's a bunch of little clamps that go in and out like this, and it just rips the hair out. And it's like getting waxed.
Can you fucking imagine, Owen? No, it hurts so much more than that. My friend had an epilator, and I used it once, and I was like, "You're fucking psycho."
You
This
really
is
do
a
get
crazy
used to
thing
it,
to
though.
do to yourself.
You just have to reprogram your brain to
Y'all.
not notice that it's painful.
When we have a civil war inevitably in this country, I need the people who use epilators at the fucking front, because
So
that's
true.
a level of bravery and strength that I do not present.
What am I looking at? What is this?
The
Did you
epilator?
Google
Like
it?
it's like a razor, but for plucking.
Yeah. It's a motorized thing, so it's kind of loud, and as it rotates, there's like a bunch of little metal plates that move back and forth. And so they clamp together and grasp the hair, and then as it's rotating really fast, it like
You might
rips
be
it out.
psychotic.
Well, I mean, it's much better than shaving. And I did try to wax one time, but I wasn't very fast at it. And if you keep having to put the wax back in the microwave, it stops being
It's
sticky.
annoying.
So,
Yeah.
laser hair removal. Anybody have $2,000 you want to throw me? I'll get the hair removed from my legs permanently. That'll be great.
Oh my God. I also saw someone in the chat saying doing all those things to your body is like leaning into patriarchal standards. Yeah, it is. And also, I'm so used to it now. And there is nothing like having shaved legs and getting into like comfy pajamas or getting into your bed.
Feels so good. Clean sheets
Oh,
on freshly shorn
Oh.
legs.
oh,
I
that's
was
a
watching
joy
your
that I will
video.
never deprive myself.
This Alyssa, I was watching the video you made this
Mm.
morning. Oh, I don't know if you know, but
Uh-huh.
like there's like 5 minutes of like where your mic wasn't on.
Yeah, I had to take that video down and then re-upload it. That video gave me so much pain today. But hopefully I think the new one that I re-uploaded should be okay. But
I'll rewatch it. I
That
thought it was
was-
interesting. I thought I was confused on your take about like makeup and stuff, because it is like, isn't it just a capitalistic way to abuse like self-esteem from women to make money off of them?
Interestingly, women in prisons will do sexual favors to guards so that the guards will sneak them in makeup. Women wear makeup for themselves, 100%. 100%. I am not a woman, but I like to wear eyeliner. It's a thing I just taught myself how to do. And I'm like, this is all for me. Nobody cares. I've been a public facing person for years and I haven't worn makeup. It's all for me.
yeah.
Interesting.
I think that some of it is also, even if it is because women feel more secure with makeup on, because that seems to be like I mean, we had a debate on Chewed Gum a long time ago, like when we first started the show, about how women going to workplaces are seen as unprofessional if they're not wearing some kind of makeup, and men don't have that standard at all.
It's the type of
Um,
harassment that you get in your lives. Yeah.
yeah, and so that's part of it too. I think that, you know, it's kind of like it makes you feel good, and that gives you confidence through the day. And, you know, it's also interesting because I'm sure you've had the experience of seeing someone with their makeup on and they, in your eyes, you're like, they look fucking crazy, but they feel really good about it. And they carry that confidence, and it doesn't really matter what my opinion of it. Like, beauty is so subjective too, that it really is so that they feel good and they feel beautiful walking around the world, you know?
I also
Because
saw
in
a
reality,
TikTok
like,
that was like me when I'm with
mhm,
my man, and she's all dressed down in messy bun and sweats, and like me when I'm with my girls, and she's
mhm,
like snatched and
yeah,
wearing a cute dress and everything. Like, yeah,
yeah,
I've seen a little bit of a
yeah,
trend with like what is it called where they're like de-attractivizing women, like making themselves men repellent or whatever. I think that's
yeah.
funny.
yeah.
I
I've
do
seen
think
that
that's
too. I
funny.
love those trends where they wear like crazy outfits. I love trends like that too.
Or they
Um,
cut their micro
but yeah, I
bangs and
think.
then have like
Oh yeah, I love a
Mhm.
micro bang. I love a micro bang. Yeah, I think women are like rediscovering makeup and self care in this day and age where we are, you know, in the like decentering of men, because the if the biggest consequence that we have is that a man doesn't like us, we've now decided that we don't care, which means we get to do whatever we want. And in that same token, it's like these are women who will do whatever they want, and they still are wearing makeup and, you know, wearing cute outfits and doing the whole thing. So, I don't know. I
yeah,
think there is a part of it that is definitely related to, like, self-esteem stuff. Like, I think it's just, like, a lot of conditioning. Like, I don't think like, I'm very insecure about I have really dark under eyes, like, just my Italian genes, and so I do put a lot of work into covering them. And if I'm gonna leave the house and I need to look a little bit pulled together, I will do my eyebrows and I will do my under eyes, and then I feel good for the day. But now Gen Z is making it a whole trend. Like, dark under eyes is a trend,
It's
which is
crazy.
crazy.
yeah, because it's
But if
Yeah.
I
hot.
had yeah, like if I but like I grew up with 2016 makeup, which was like contour, and it was heavy. I'll just say it was
Heavy.
heavy makeup. So like I'm not comfortable with the like having dark under eyes as my part of my look. So it's, you know, part of it's like trends and part of it's like I grew up that way and I still can't I you will pry the color corrector out of my cold dead hands. I will keep it forever. So,
Those kind of
yeah.
preferences are so interesting because I also know that the puppy dog eyeliner is popular now. Like my
Mhm.
eyes have a downturn, and so I could lean into that. And I'm like, ew, I don't want to. Like instead, I'm gonna learn a bunch of dumb bullshit about how to make sure it looks good at an upward angle instead of like using my
Yeah.
features the way that they are because I just don't like it. And that again is completely
Yeah.
internal. I don't know where that
Mhm.
preference comes from.
Yeah. Being a being a makeup wearing person, being a femme presenting person, it's like kind of it's like a whole other world. It's crazy town over here.
It's so funny too that I'm like, I can talk to the girls now. I can relate to the girls. It's like when I started watching Dragon Ball Z and I was like, I can now talk to the boys. Like I can't truly relate to either
Yeah.
group. So I'm just like, how can I find something to get a wedge in here? So it's been fun.
Yeah, and makeup is really fun. And that's the other thing too is like makeup is a fun connecting thing too. Like my fiance's sister and sister-in-law, I get makeup PR and not all of it suits my skin tone. So like I made little like gift bags for them and I gave it to them because I was like, who doesn't love a lip balm? Everyone loves a lip balm. And it was so fun to be able to be like, and you get a cute little blush and you guys can decide which colors you want. It's just like a fun connecting thing, I think, too, that like it's just fun. And it's like it
Yeah.
can be very lighthearted.
Anyway, I feel like we're way off from what you were originally here to talk about.
Yeah.
Owen, do you have any final questions or last statements before we get to our last two callers?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm not an Andrew hater. I think he's too young and naive and brainwashed, and it's unfair to hate him.
Yeah. Thank you, Owen.
He
Thank
got
you, Owen. I
absolutely
appreciate
smacked
that.
down this weekend, and he did not call in today. I think he's still recovering. We can talk about it in a second, though.
I do think
Yeah.
he deserves to get the smackdown. I just don't think he deserves to be hated. Like, he should have an opportunity to become a better person.
I do think the
And
chat
learn.
needs to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
Chat's a
We're
little...
working on it. We're finding balance.
Yeah. But thank you, Owen.
Okay,
This
no,
has been a
that
really
was
great
cool.
conversation.
Thank you so much for... I've been trying to... I don't really... I'm not available during the times you're live, so today was lucky. I'm glad I got to call in.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you.
Yay. Thank you, Owen. Have a good rest of your night.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I do
Another
want to
good
talk
hang-up.
about the Andrew call because I don't know if you saw it on Sunday.
I did not.
I did
not.
It was Forrest, and I'm terrible about remembering things. I do this so often now that like the days are blurry. Anyway, but so Forrest was
gonna
on.
say.
I think it was Owen.
Yeah.
Forrest and Owen. But Andrew called in and he was asking like, what's the definition of fascism? And they got into a lot of different things. And actually, Andrew admitted a couple of things. He was like, he said that he would not vote for Trump now, that he knows what kind of president he is and that he's a pervert. Like, we got him to admit that.
Okay.
And I think the thing that really might have kind of made him need to stop and think for a few days, or the reason why he did not call today, is that we did kind of like end on a note that was like, well, okay, you're trying to claim not to be a rape apologist, and yet you're sitting here saying like all of these things, and you did support this president, and to this day you are still kind of trying to excuse his behavior, even though you yourself said that he's a pervert. Like, so what's the deal?
Yeah.
And so I think we did kind of catch him in a type of like cognitive dissonance that his brain might need to update a little bit. I expect he's still going to say fucked up things. I expect he's still going to be a frustrating person. But listen, we had 300 more viewers when he was on than when we had the caller before him. So sorry, but we're going to keep taking Andrew calls until that stops happening.
I don't want to throw you under the bus, Lux, but I will tell you that we go into the chat, we go into the Chewed Gum chat, and I say, what do we do? Do we take the Andrew call? Because you have a pulse on like how the week has gone, like how many times he's called in, like how bad he's been this week.
Yeah.
What his report card is looking like. And most of the time, Lux, you are the one who's like, we got to take the Andrew call. You're like, the views get really good when he calls. I'm so sorry.
It is me.
And you're right.
Like, I have to, I'm trying to get the show to perform
And you're
well.
right.
And the messages that we tell Andrew, guys, it's not even about Andrew. And to a certain extent, I do, like, part of me irrationally is like, I can fix him, right? But
yeah,
it's also about like everybody else who believes some bullshit that Andrew believes and is going to see that clip later and is going to hear arguments that they've never heard before. So anytime you feel like a debate is frustrating and without fruit, like it's not even about Andrew. It's also about me making money.
and that is the real tea. Okay. Because you know what we like to do? Eat.
Love that. Huge
Pay
fan.
bills. You know, what are we gonna do? Okay, we're only people. Okay, we have 2 more calls. Do you have a preference of which we do first?
I think let's take Pip first.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Pip. Hi. How's it going?
It's going as well as I can do. Seasonal depression sucks, but it's kind of inevitable, really. I'm
brutal.
just trying to get through it and focus on the here and now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Lux is hugging her
And my
vitamin D.
vitamin D.
I all day
Absolutely,
today, I
absolutely.
had work to do, and then I was like, I need to film something, but I should film it during daytime. I did this 3 days in a row because it's friggin' dark at 4 PM. I was like, this is impossible. There's literally not enough light hours in the day. Ugh.
Yeah, and that's why I don't live in Scandinavia, because where did that sun go? Come back, you lazy ass! Shaking my fist
Yeah, this
at
is the furthest north I've ever lived, and it's very
objects I
weird.
can't control.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really stressful. Anyways, what did you want to talk about today, Pip?
What I want to talk about today is the difference between aesthetic and romantic attraction, because the two have been kind of blurring for me recently. This is sort of a follow-up call to something I've discussed with Lux before on TACIS, in that I am a non-binary person who is assigned male at birth but femme-leaning, and my romantic attraction is primarily and unquestionably towards women and femfolk. And of course, that includes trans women and non-binary women and so on and so forth. But the thing is, I can't quite wrap my head around whether or not I would actually have romantic interest in men. And the thing is that I'm on the asexual spectrum, so I've got no interest in sexual activity at all, just couldn't care less about it. But even though I can't really see myself dating like a man or getting into a serious relationship with a person of a masculine gender, my subconscious seems to want to tell me otherwise, because I literally have dreams of occasionally have dreams of finding a boyfriend, and might occasionally think a boy is aesthetically cute. Like, I'll try not to ramble because I know we're pressed for time, but shortly after one of my last chewed gum calls, when I was in Starbucks, I found this person who seemed to be assigned male at birth. I don't know their actual gender, but they were had makeup and they had this glittery crop top on, and I just thought that they were cute as all fuck. I'm like, hell yeah, they're looking absolute fabulous, and I told them as such. I didn't really have the confidence to get any details. It looked like they were kind of busy already, but I managed to compliment them on at last, so that's a step forward. And it's just like, is it the femininity that I'm attracted to romantically, or is it there this slim chance that I might actually, have this attraction to masked people in general, and it just keeps going around and around in a circle.
I know at least a couple lesbians who are like lesbians and very occasionally a very effeminate man. So I do think that it might be more accurate for us to use a framework of masculinity and femininity rather than per se like the person's actual gender. I mean, I'm not saying that those other things are irrelevant for most people, but that it was, it's just like it's fluid, and often, and as a trans person, that like there's all the things that change when you're on hormones. And so mostly people's initial attraction is everything above the waist, more basic things like facial features and style choices and things like that. So it does seem like, I don't know, like I think it's fine if somebody identifies as a lesbian and they're like, but I would do a man occasionally. Like, sure. Because I think that the purpose of an identity label is to communicate like broad strokes. So if you are a bisexual who's like, I'm going to start calling myself a lesbian because the answer is no. I'm not dating men anymore. Like just reorienting your romantic attraction or whatever. So I wouldn't sweat it too hard. I mean, if you're like, I'm a lesbian asterisk, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
As I was listening to you explain your experience, Pip, I just kept thinking, what's the value in making a label at all? Like, who cares? Like, if like you can like whoever you like and pursue whoever you want to pursue. And if, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And there's no harm in going on dates and seeing how certain people work for you or not work for you. And, you just never know. There's a lot of people who, like Luck said, thought that they had one specific category that they were fitting into, and then they meet someone and they're like, you know what? Actually, I kind of fuck with this. And you just never know. I think it's just all a spectrum. It's just not as neat and tidy as we make it out to be.
As we might hope, perhaps.
Yeah,
I think we all want the
Yeah.
simplicity of it, right? We all want easy answers. And it sucks when you're like, I think I have it figured out. And then your brain is like, but would you like a curveball?
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. Yeah, for me, I'm actually quite fond of labels in the sense that they are always descriptive rather than prescriptive. They inform
Mhm.
what's already there as opposed to, what you must be. Like when I first came out as non-binary, I called myself a femboy because I'm someone as I said, I'm male at birth, feminine presenting, and it's actually an anime called Pretty Boy Detective Club that actually kind of cracked that egg, even if the anime itself isn't great. That's beside the point. It's just this whole concept of being male or AMAB and then presenting as feminine and having that kind of duality to it and mixing those two concepts that kind of do it for me. And I think part of my hesitation to accept romantic attraction towards men is a lot of my, past trauma during high school, because gay was the word that was used as a stick to beat me over the head with. Just about anything I did could be labeled as gay. And they'd even take perfume off the shelf in one class and rub it on my blazer just to call me gay and give credence to that, even though that's something they did to me. And it's I, very, very clearly and consciously do not think gay is a bad word at all. I wouldn't be, calling myself sapphic if I did. But at the same time, there's this lingering part of me which still feels very anxious around men and masculine people, whether I'm wanting to date them or not. And I'm kind of trying to untangle that with, well, what's the attraction and what's the trauma speaking? And unfortunately, it's just kind of never clear.
Yeah, and I have so much sympathy for the additional difficulty in ascertaining your attraction if you lack sexual attraction. It's such a clarifying point for me, both with my gender identity and sometimes I'm like, yeah, but are you really trans though? And then I'm like, I want a dick so bad. And then it does, with other people and knowing your attraction to them, it's I definitely am demisexual because a lot of the time I can be like, ooh, I'm aesthetically very interested in that person. But if I were to go through the motions of imagining actually having sex with them, I'm like, so there's that kind of there's that kind of difficulty in figuring out whether you're attracted to someone because you're lacking one of the components that people indicate oh, this is a really easy way to be able to tell. And I feel like maybe it would be good to try to just come to a place where you're like, sometimes I really appreciate this. And that doesn't have to go anywhere further than my brain. I can appreciate this and not act upon it. And I don't have to change my identity label because I know that I fancy some guys sometimes,
Yeah. And my last relationship was with a trans woman, and that was before I fully understood my asexuality. And honestly, bodies are bodies. I couldn't care less what what gear people have in the below the belt area, so to speak. So it's more about who the person is and the presentation of gender, I think, for me, more than whatever biology they may be born as.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of tuned out for a second there. If I was supposed to reply, I was reading
No
it,
worries.
not listening.
I've
Sorry.
got it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I think
Anyway,
this is a
oh,
I love this conversation, and I am learning a lot from the both of you and your personal experiences because, whatever, I can read about it, but it's not the same as hearing about how nuanced it is. So thank you for
yeah.
this call, Pip. I really loved hearing all about this.
No problem. And before I go, there's one thing I want to set the record straight on. I'll be really quick because I have found a list of qualities that really make a real man. And Andrew, if you're listening, this is important for you. A real man must permanently freeze Lake Michigan, put pigs in little skirts, offer yogurt to everyone, keep little folded pictures of sea snails in their wallet, use eminent domain to seize your cabin, say holy macaroni whenever the damn well please, and put aftershave on pizza for generous acclaim. And none of those require having XY chromosomes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So true, Pip. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pip.
You have a great evening.
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That is
Oh, God.
so funny. Also, Pip, the way that Pip speaks, there is no person whose name should be Pip like Pip's name should be Pip. It just makes so much sense.
It's pretty
Like
perfect.
their name
Yeah.
suits them so well. I just love it.
I love how everybody's
when
like,
Pip
did I
calls.
miss an Andrew call? Not today, y'all. Sorry, we're not doing
Not
it to you today.
Not today. He got the sense Lux was not feeling great, and he's like, I'll save it. Can you imagine him being considerate like that? That would never happen.
I know. I really want to, like, the next time I get an Andrew call and I'm hosting, I'm just going to be like, okay, so I don't care what your prompt was. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to evaluate whether information is true or not. Like, because he did call in a couple weeks ago asking, like, what is reasonable or something like that. And I was like, this is it, guys. We're starting down the path. He's starting to wonder how to think. Like, he's starting to think about how to evaluate information. So I really do want to steer him that way and be like, okay, how do we evaluate truth claims? I don't know if we're ever going to get there, but I feel like I could see the light for a split second.
We're getting close. Some people in the chat, or maybe it might just be Calibrin1 who said it like a few times, but is like, he's jilted by Alyssa's engagement. I'm telling you, that would be really funny.
Doesn't that happen to like female creators? Like if you if you hide your relationship or if you just are single, then you get more attention than if you say you have a boyfriend or if you show your boyfriend in your content.
Yeah, I lost like hundreds of followers the day that I posted Kanye.
That's crazy. Like, these men thought they had a chance. That's crazy.
I know. They were like, damn. Shit. I know. So funny.
Awful.
But I, at the same time, like the day that Kristen Stewart got engaged and then also the day that she got married, both of those days, I was like, fuck. No.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, like it's just
pretty funny.
I don't know. It's a weird parasocial thing. All right, we have one more call before we take our super chats. So if you have not gotten your super chats in, now is the time. And I feel like we haven't gotten that many super chats today. And so, you don't like us? What happened?
Money needing a lot now.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, let's pull in.
Always Sunny reference.
Oh my God, it's okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that that's what it was, and now that you said it, yeah, yep. I haven't watched Always Sunny in so long. I gotta get back
terrible
into it.
And cringe, and I love it, and I don't know why. Anyway,
It's Always Sunny is like one of the craziest shows because they have like literally not a single likable character, and they made like 9 seasons. It's amazing.
It's so compelling.
Amazing. Yes. All right, we're gonna pull in Chris for our last call of the evening. Chris, are you there?
Yeah, hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, we're good. How are you?
Been better, definitely. but I'm still here.
I feel you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what would you want to talk about today?
Well, I mean, for the time being, my main question would be how to deal with like tons of internalized shame.
hmm
Just a few disclaimers. I'm non-binary, and I've spent a few years in the Catholic Church. At some point, I thought I wanted to be a priest. The people I was with, it like turned into a legitimate sect, so that also boosted up everything. And hearing about how evangelical churches operate, it's like the sect that I was with kind of started to rise
Really quick,
to
Chris, can you do me a
the
favor and just
strictness of.
can you just move the microphone slightly further away from your face? It's like
it's like clipping
spiking
a
in a
little
way that
bit.
is making my ears bleed a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna talk
Oh,
a
that's
little
so
bit
much better.
Yeah, that's
more
better. That's way better. Thank you.
quiet.
So much better.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry. So you were saying
sorry.
your church started to feel
Yeah,
like kind of what you identify evangelical churches to be like.
yeah, exactly. In terms of strictness and whatnot. So, yeah, and that left me. That was like 20 fucking years ago, and I'm still having this like internalized shame when it comes to even thinking about sexuality. I mean, it's like I realized this really, really strongly when I saw your short on Instagram. I think, Alyssa, when
hmm
you talked about like when you talked to people having a vulva about exploring how like colors and textures and whatnot, and I was like, and I felt like embarrassed maybe somehow,
hmm
like I was a fucking teenager in a sex ed class for the first time,
hmm
and that got me thinking, what, how much the lack of like the sex ed and like proper education stuck with me for years. And okay, the last 5 years were just like a freaking roller coaster when it comes to therapies and everything. I don't want to go into the details because it would take too long. But yes, right now it's like tons of internalized um, shame, especially that I'm discovering that perhaps I may be something more than just non-binary. So yeah. Oh, and a short lesson on socialism. I got referred to a legitimate sex clinic, and it's funded by the government because I tipped in
I'm
to
scared.
the global system with my taxes.
Wow.
So now I can benefit from those taxes. So yeah, just a little sneak peek
Wow.
into
Jealous.
Yeah,
socialism.
you live in a civilized country. That's crazy.
Bragging.
We are all
Well,
very
yeah,
jealous.
I wouldn't go that far as to saying it's civilized. Our president is a pimp, but at least he's not a pedophile.
Yeah.
Listen,
So yeah,
it's really hard to be as bad as we are right now.
Yeah.
yes, definitely. And like our president was legitimately a pimp at some point. But yeah, whatever. It's like there's this ton of shame, and I don't even know um how to start describing it to myself. I don't know where to begin to somehow tackle this or address it in any way. It's just there and it's bugging me.
Yeah. Well, I'll say we always recommend recovering from religion and the secular therapy project. Those are places that there's with recovering from religion, there's like a helpline that you can call, and there are people who are specifically trained in having conversations like this, but I'll say from the perspective of like sex related things that Lux has gotten out a binder from.
Yeah, I'll let you do your thing. I'm looking for something.
Okay. From the perspective of sex related things, I think that the best thing that you can do is continue to expose yourself to conversations about sexuality and expose yourself to different people. It's kind of like that very first call that we had, or not very, it was the second one call that we had from Jessica. And she was saying that just hearing a sex worker talk about her experience changed the way that she approach people in that profession completely. It's a lot of it's just going to be the repeated exposure. And even like for my certification program, they had us do a weekend long conference, and it was called a sexual attitude readjustment. And we spent an SAR, a SAR, if you will. And every sex therapist has to do them, every sex counselor, coach, whatever. They all have to do them. And the purpose is you watch all different kinds of porn, really, and you do that in a room full of people who are either doing the certification or guided by people who have already done the certification and are sex therapists and are there to help you deconstruct how you feel. And so I'm not recommending that you like watch a ton of porn, but I think it's important that you go through a process of exposing yourself to the groups that make you feel uncomfortable. Like even watching the video that I posted, that making you feel uncomfortable, it's like, okay, that's information for you to say, okay, I'm not super comfortable with this, and this is something where I can lean in and, be a little bit more curious and see what can you learn. Like there are people, if you go to plannedparenthood.com, they have sex education courses that are online, and you can like flip through them and just see how they make you feel, and you can journal them, and sometimes that helps kind of like release some of that stuff as well. But I think just like leaning into the things that make you uncomfortable and continuing to expose yourself is going to be really helpful.
Yeah. So I am going to slam down some dialectical behavioral therapy stuff because, and it's like basically along the same lines. Yeah. It's basically along the same lines as what Alyssa was saying, but I did 2 years of this really intensive therapy program. And there's this whole section called emotional regulation. And in this section, so you kind of like, you have to go through a process of identifying your feelings and accept them and then start to process them and all this. So once you get to the point where you're starting to process the emotions, DBT delineates between shame and guilt by it's either internal or external. So guilt would be like your behavior violates your own moral code. Shame is more like you could be rejected by someone if your behavior is known or if something about you is revealed. So if we're focusing in on shame, the thing that we do with any of these emotions is we have to evaluate whether that emotion fits the facts or not. And if your emotion doesn't fit the facts, like if you're feeling shame around sex, but you aren't going to substantially lose anything by engaging in that behavior, then the thing to do, and also if your emotion is justified but just too out of proportion, then we would also follow this same pathway. But the pathway to follow is called opposite action, which is that you do something opposite to that feeling. And it's kind of like training your brain and proving that bad thing isn't going to happen or whatever. So yes, like Alyssa was saying, if you're acting opposite to the emotion of shame, you could do something like make the thing that you're ashamed of public, like share it with people who will not reject you to teach yourself that it's not going to result in the social consequence of ostracizing, because that's kind of the fundamental fear with shame. You can repeat the behavior without hiding it from people who won't reject you. And if your own moral code is violated, there's a different pathway to take for that. But I don't think that that's the case here. Make it public, repeat the behavior, don't apologize for the behavior or try to make up for a perceived transgression. Accepting all of the information about the situation and kind of taking it in and letting yourself sit with it, including sitting with the emotion of shame and not trying to push it away. letting yourself feel it, and then kind of start to process it after you let it kind of hang around for a little while. A big thing, oh my God, this is so important for emotion regulation all over the place, is that if you do something physically, it can send signals back up to your brain to change what your brain is doing. So if you do something like change your body posture, so you're thinking about this thing and you're feeling shame, if you embody a type of physicality that is more like, I'm proud of this behavior, you straighten your back, you pull back your shoulders, you lift your head up, maintaining eye contact if you're interacting with someone who's making you feel the emotion, and just, being steady and clear. Like, basically, these are signals that you're sending back to your brain using your body to tell your brain to stop. Like, long story short. So there's kind of a lot of things to do. But yeah, like Alyssa was saying, it's a type of exposure, sort of, to just continue doing the thing that makes you feel ashamed until you learn that it's not going to have the negative social consequences. And that might mean investing in a community that is more sex positive and getting to know people who are going to be more like, welcoming or encouraging of sexual exploration and stuff like that. So that's my therapy hour for the week. I love how I break out the binder and everyone's like, uh-oh.
I was like, what is that? That's awesome, though. That was great.
I have the teaching book too. Hold on. I'm just going to show off. Also bought the teacher's book because it's very useful to have in addition to all the worksheets that I have in the binder. So anyway, Chris.
Can't you just recommend a pill or something? Because it sounds like a lot of work.
I know
it is. But as I always say, look at all of these moments with curiosity and not judgment. You can't judge yourself for reacting the way that you were literally brought up to react. Like, you were programmed for this, and you just have to be like gentle and kind to yourself as you deprogram all of it.
Totally. Yeah.
If I had 10% of that gentleness and kindness towards myself as I had towards others, I'd be golden. But that's
you deserve that.
Works. Yeah, but
think of yourself as a different person. If you're like, if my best friend Chris was telling me all of these things about how they hate themselves, how would I feel to respond to them? And hold yourself in that compassionate embrace is so important to be able to extend that to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, Lux. I mean, that's a lot of very nice and refreshing information. I did spend like 18 months because I'm a recovered alcoholic and porn addict. So I did spend like 18 months learning about, among others, emotions. And it was like emotions 101, learning from the very basics, because it was emotions were a complete binary. It's either fucking awesome or fucking horrible. And when I realized there was something in between, it was like very eye-opening. But the thing that you said was really interesting with in regards to working with the body and reprogramming, like when I feel proud of something or something like you said, that's really interesting because I have really strong somatic stuff going on. When I'm stressed, I get all tense, and especially when I feel whenever I feel that for example, muscles in my legs tighten or anything happens to them, I know it's a signal that there's an anxiety attack creeping up on me. So I do feel a lot of things from my body, except
you're breaking
from body.
up, Chris.
I fucking hate it.
Oh wait, you were breaking up. You might be back. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I have a suggestion for you, Chris.
Dysphoria. Yeah.
I have a suggestion for you. There's a coaching activity that I do that sometimes it's more helpful when it's like more guided, but I think you should give it a shot because one of the other things that I feel like we're hearing is a lot of the story of who you were impacting so much of who you are. And those deserve to be in separate places because you are sober and you're deconstructing and you're in this whole different space. And so the spot that you were in while you were not sober and engaging in unhealthy activities and part of this group is like so different. And so detaching those two stories can be really helpful. And so I've had some of like my coaching clients do this before where I encourage them to write the story that they have been telling themselves about who they are. So it's a moment where like give yourself license to be sort of like harsh on yourself if you want to in this moment and just be like this is who I tell myself I am all the time. I tell my I'll like the way that I would do this if I were doing this exercise is I'm a procrastinator and I'm lazy or whatever. Like all of the whatever list of things that you think that you tell like the story that you tell yourself on your worst day. And then after you look at that whole story, take a step back and look at what are the actual facts here and what are things that I've just like added to this. Like if the story is I was an addict and now I'm sober, and that makes me, whatever. I was an addict and it made me this and this way. The fact of the matter is you are sober now and you are resilient and you worked really hard to do that. And you show extreme resilience in even leaving a religion and wanting to work out gender identity and expression stuff. Like this is all like signs of resilience. And so when you write this old story, take a step back, look at what are the facts, what are the actual just bullet notes of like what my life and my experience has been, and then rewrite this new story with like a clearer lens, with like what are the actual facts of what has happened and the things that I have done, and what have I created for myself in this moment. And when you write this new story, you might also find space for like what you have created now is there might be a disconnect between what you're looking for, but that's amazing because now you found the disconnect and you're like, I know exactly what I get to do next. So that might be helpful. I really like that exercise. And sometimes it's helpful, like I said, like really one-on-one, but give it a shot and see if it makes you feel any type of way or something comes up for you.
That's that's a really cool exercise, especially that I did process a lot of stuff through writing about it, and it was part of the therapy program I was in that we had to write literal homework essays on different topics, and I did manage to process a lot, and I have been more or less consistently journaled like for the last 5 years. I have like a few big notebooks of journals, and it does make processing stuff far easier. And that exercise sounds like really, really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I hope that it's helpful. And if you're able to find extra support through your healthcare system too, that's also great. Especially when you're doing work like that where you're like digging back and whatever, all that kind of stuff. Um, but thank you so much for calling, Chris. This has been really interesting and I hope that we've been supportive. And you're welcome to call back anytime and let us know how you're doing.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing from you on TACIS sometime soon.
Yeah.
I did manage to call TACIS at some point.
Nice.
So I
Oh,
already
yeah.
talked to you guys. I talked to Josie, and I think I talked
He's
to
a gem.
you too, Lux.
It's going to be Josie and I again this week. Exciting.
Ooh. That is
Yeah,
exciting.
I think I'm gonna call, especially that the timing is like more beneficial for me. I mean,
Yeah,
today
for sure.
I'm reaping profits from insomnia. So thank you, insomnia.
Yeah, totally.
Well, thank you,
Try to get
Chris,
some
so
rest
much
at
for
least.
calling. Yeah, true. Definitely call back on Thursday for TACIS and get some more, feedback and support, and call back here too and let us know how everything is going.
I will. I will definitely call back to update you on the progress.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Chris. Have a good rest of your night. We'll talk to you so soon.
Good night.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Yeah.
You too. Good night. Okay.
We did
Woo.
it.
That was a really nice call. That was a nice call to wrap on.
Definitely. And
And
we
now
ended up going a little
we'll
bit over what
do
our planned time was, but it's fine because we had lots of really relaxed calls, and I'm not feeling bad or anything right now. So that's good. It's time for super
Okay.
chats.
Woo-hoo. Let's
Whoop,
get our
whoop.
supers going, and then you get to be horizontal if you so choose.
I was like, okay, so because I have pots, I was like having floor time recently. It's a thing that you have to do sometimes. And my partner was like, "Are you enjoying your floor time?" And I was like, "I hate it. I just want to get up and do
Oh.
stuff."
Yeah.
That feel
It's
when
rough.
it is. Do you want to get us started?
Yeah. $4.99 from What the Fuck Is Going On? Yeah, that's a good name. Hiya, wonderful people. Wish I could call in. Not out to co-parent, but my mom's insisting I should tell my transing prior to picking up kiddos for Christmas. I feel like I don't understand what this message is.
So what they're saying is that they are divorced or separated from the person who they raised children with. They are not out to that
Oh,
person. And their mom is
got it.
insisting that they need to tell this ex or this co-parent about them being trans, I guess before they're going to see them in order to pick up the kids for Christmas or something.
Right.
Like a lot of times people don't even notice like your early transition
Yeah.
stuff. So I feel like it's on your own timeline. If it could cause any kind of issues with custody or anything, then maybe it would be important to kind of get out there ahead of time, so that they don't feel surprised or anything. But I don't know. I really don't feel like you're obligated to come out to anybody. But unrelated, your username. Okay, this is really fucked up. But there was a video. It was like a news thing about a blind kid playing football. And like there's a video of him running around, and then there's a metal song overlaid on the video, and it goes, "What the fuck is going on?" Like as this kid is running around blind, and it's so terrible, but it is also insanely funny. And I appreciate you reminding me of that. Thank you.
Unfortunately hilarious.
Yeah, it's like I know it's wrong. It doesn't make it any less funny. Thanks. Shout out to Markiplier's Try Not to Laugh series for exposing me to that one. Thank you for the 5 units from Mystic Mind Analysis. Thank you, Pip. Says, seasonal depression sucks. I'm doing my best to power through it. If I can live to see the next summer, so can you. Hashtag never surrender. Hashtag humanity first.
Hold on. Is Mystic Mind Analysis Pip?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I had no idea. Oh my
I
god.
just figured
Okay.
it out recently.
Please confirm in chat. What? Wow. That is so I had no idea. That's so crazy. Wow.
Yeah. But yes, I feel you.
Okay.
Seasonal
Fun.
depression with the 4 p.m. sunset.
I can't
Drink your
take
milk,
it.
y'all. Vitamin D is
Oh
so
my
good for
god.
you.
It's killing me. $10 from Brent J. Council Treasurer. Feel better, Lux. We appreciate your sleep sacrifice. Yes, thank you so
Indeed.
much.
Thank you very much for your donation. The sympathy
God.
votes still count.
Yeah.
Thank you for $5 from Sapphic Hazard, who says LLMs suck at math. It does not crunch numbers. It's specifically bad at crunching numbers because it is a plagiarism 8-ball. I literally just replaced ChatGPT with a magic 8-ball. Like, you'll get just as much clarity from that.
You know, and that's really upsetting to me because I recently saw I'm gonna be like fixing some stuff in our apartment next year, and there's stuff that like I know I'm gonna need measurements for. And so I've been watching people on like YouTube and TikTok and whatever, like how they've been doing all of this stuff. And many times people will say like, oh, and I use ChatGPT to get the measurements. And then in the comments, people will be like, it's like legitimately not accurate. I'm like, no, because I'm not good at math. I would love for something to be accurate and helpful with math, but it doesn't feel like that's going to be the thing that does it for me. That's okay.
Not GPT
Uh,
anyway.
No. $5 from William Mattis. I think that's right. Mattis. Every time I read this, I read it differently. 1991. My level 5 life cleric casts cure wounds at level 3 and lesser restoration on Lux. That's 3d8 plus 7 and removal of poison, disease, blind, deaf, or paralyzed. Huh? What?
It's a D&D. They cast a healing spell on me and a spell that would remove any negative effects on me, like taking poison
that's
damage
so
over time.
nice.
Yeah, that was really sweet. It's funny though, whenever I read William Matta's name, I read Willamette because Willamette Valley, where I live.
Whoa. That's crazy. I didn't know that was even a thing.
Yeah. The Oregon Trail
Willamette.
is like, it ends in the Willamette Valley. So, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, learned something new.
It was fun driving up here and seeing all the little Oregon Trail signs along especially in like the
Yeah.
Columbia River Gorge. I know that I said I was tired and I wanted to do a short show, but fucking who cares? Imagine, it's like, have you ever driven like through the Rockies or any kind of terrain like that before?
I've driven through like Utah. I've driven across the country a handful of times. So I definitely have driven through like whatever, lots of terrain.
Yeah.
Different kinds
Can
of
you just
terrain.
imagine, like, while you're driving along, imagine what it would be like to be doing this with a fucking wagon and screaming children and horses? Like imagine getting over this mountain
God.
and see that there are more mountains. Like,
Oh my God. If this is terrible, but this is literally what I would feel. If my kid even had the common cold, I would stand this close to their face and say, "Give it to me. I don't want to do this anymore." That's terrible.
like, I'm gonna die of dysentery. I'm choosing.
Give it to me now. Give it to me now. I don't want to deal with this. Did I ever tell you that when I went to Italy to visit family for the first time when I was in like the 5th grade, and we went to Pompeii. I don't remember if I told this story on the show yet. I don't think I did. And so we went to Pompeii, and my mom was trying to like really demonstrate the impact of what we were seeing. Cause like when you're young, you're like, I don't give a fuck. When you're older, you can kind of get like that feeling of like you're at the Oregon Trail and you're like, holy shit, on a wagon. So she's walking around and she's going, Alyssa, and she's from the Bronx. Alyssa, imagine all the feet that walked on this ground. And she's like touching stuff. She's like, imagine all the hands that touched this. And I'm like, oh my God. So you saying the Oregon Trail thing in my head, I'm like, and imagine all the hands that touched these rocks. It's like,
I love that.
But yeah, I get that. I feel that way all the time. I'm like, and they did this with a horse. That's
totally.
crazy.
And you see the history of like cities that you're in, and you're like, I imagine when they first built this, it was like this, and you can like see like how things have now evolved to be like, oh, okay, well, this city sprawls across the state line now, like Kansas City does, and it's like, it used to be a little dinky little whatever next to a river,
dinky little town, yeah,
dinky little town. Anyway, thank you for $5 from Cassie Wolf, who says, can you please give me a crash course on getting over jealousy and polyamory? Oh, I'd love to hear your answer on that.
A crash course? I don't think that there really is a crash course. I think the best thing that you can do is have some really honest communication with your partners and do it in a way where you come to the conversation with the understanding that you love and care about each other, and the goal is to like, express how you feel and see if there's a solution that you can come to. If there isn't a solution you can come to, then maybe polyamory is not for you, or maybe that partner is not the partner for you within that structure. But you can also communicate like what would make you feel more safe, what would make you feel more secure, and if that's something that your partner can do for you, great. If they can't, then that's a different conversation. But that's as close as I can give to a crash course, I think.
Jealousy. Hold on, is jealousy in here? Listen, I think it is. Hold on. let me get back to my page here.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That's the wrong section. This is the other section I need to be in. Hold up. Because jealousy is an emotion that is primarily based in. So there's a difference between jealousy and envy in DBT.
Mhm.
And the difference is kind of like with jealousy. So envy is like you want something that someone else has, whereas jealousy is a feeling that's like you're worried about losing something that you already have. So let me see if I can get here. You need to work on some things: fear, anger, disgust, jealousy. So in situations, the emotion is either justified or not, right? It's justified if an important or desired relationship or object is in danger of being damaged or lost. So that's a legitimate time to feel jealousy. Or if someone is threatening to take away an important and desired relationship or object, right? So if we are trying to act opposite to the emotion, the kinds of things that we need to internalize are letting go of our feeling of needing to control other people, actively sharing what you have with others. Like I was saying about the shame, like do the behavior that you're
Mhm.
ashamed of, or in this case, do the thing that you're worried about with the jealousy. So, actively being involved in the polyamory. And I honestly kind of think that don't ask, don't tell policies are bad if you are trying to do healthy polyamory, because you are completely fucking avoiding that part where you need to like confront that you are
Yeah.
sharing something with people. Stop spying and snooping. I have to do opposite action to jealousy where like I can't even glance at what my partner is doing with his Discord. I just don't look at it at all because that will reinforce my feeling of jealousy. If I snoop and I
Mhm.
find nothing, that reinforces my jealousy and makes it more likely that I'll be jealous later, which is why if you have a partner who's insecure, you kind of need to draw boundaries around that and not give them constant reassurance because it will only make the problem worse. And don't avoid it. Take in all the information. So that's the therapy approach to dealing with jealousy in polyamory. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
$5 from Sapphic Charizard. Hashtag
True.
Discord Lives Matter. Hashtag Team Jessica. Thank you,
Hell yeah.
Sapphic.
Thank you for the €5 from Linda, who says, thank you so much for what you do here. I'm so glad that Jessica gave me a chance despite being a sex worker. I'm such a happy girl to be with her. That's so sweet. That's so sweet, Linda. I'm so happy for both of
Yay.
you.
I'm happy for you too, for both of you. It's awesome.
Success. See, everybody can find
Yes.
love.
Yeah, and we appreciate you being here, Linda. Thank you for $5 from Aaliyah Shauna Silverbow. Did you hear about the guy who stole an advent calendar? He got 25 days. Hashtag tis the season. That's great. I wonder when the well will be dry on these jokes. I don't think they ever will. It's amazing.
I'll find out on Monday with an 8-hour Skeptalk with Erica because the puns come out.
I know.
$10 from the Atheist Mechanic. Hey, Lux, I'm also in that group, the male loneliness epidemic group on Facebook. That's so funny. I'm astonished at a lot of the posts on there. Okay, yeah, it's the male loneliness epidemic isn't severe enough. That epidemic is largely self-induced. Literally, I'm like, what do you expect? I don't know. Men are gross sometimes.
$5 from Aaliyah Shauna Silverbow. A bunch of chess masters were bragging about their games in a hotel lobby over the holidays. They were just some chestnuts boasting in an open foyer. That's good.
That's
I
solid.
love it.
I appreciate it.
Does anyone else actually eat chestnuts around Christmas? Because my family does, but I don't know that everyone does.
I don't think that I've literally ever eaten chestnuts, to my knowledge.
They're really good.
It's now occurring to me. Okay, I'm gonna try them then, because they don't come in like regular mixed nuts packages. You know, you get the
No.
cashews, you get the macadamia. That's so interesting that I've never
Mhm.
thought about that before.
They're usually like in their shell still, and
Mm.
you have to take a sharp knife and make like a little kind of cross on the flat end of it, and then
Mhm.
you roast it, and then that's where like the shell starts to peel enough so you could peel it off.
Okay,
And they're really
that sounds
tasty.
fun. I might see if I can source some
Yeah.
chestnuts just to try it
Just
out.
to give it a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I also want to try a pomelo because I've never had a pomelo before.
What's a pomelo?
So all citrus fruits are hybrids of 3 actual true citrus. Mandarin is one, pomelo is another, and I can't remember the third, but it's like I've always eaten like oranges. I've had mandarin before. I've had lemons, but I don't think I've ever had a citron, which I think is maybe the third
Oh.
one. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there's
Wow.
all kinds of foods I've never had before that I would love to try.
Apparently, it's the largest citrus fruit also.
Mhm.
Who knew? Wow. Okay. But it was just me or you.
I don't know. It's a two-parter anyway. You get to read one half and I'll read the other half.
Okay. From Darren Wine, first half. I was trying to explain to a group of guys that a girl asking their opinion on their nails was trying to involve them in their interests and
Oh my god, hold on.
and
And compared it to them wanting to share their video games. The answer, we just don't care. The disinterest in bonding with their partners is mind-blowing. Like, girl, do you think I cared about video games at all when I started dating my partner? Like, I like love
Yeah.
it because I got into it, and like I used to play Pokemon or whatever, and now I'm like, bro, Metroidvanias. I actually enjoy them now, and I wouldn't have gotten into it as much probably, but just like being willing, just a little bit of willingness to just listen.
Yeah.
You don't have to care. Just make
Yeah.
friendly noises and then give her a hug afterwards and then
Yeah.
move on with your fucking day.
And it's also nice to see your partner excited about something and so excited that they want to share it with you. It's like
Yeah.
sweet and it's a nice bonding moment and you can take it just as that. Like my fiance talks to me about B flat all the time. The man loves B flat. We got to talk about B flat all the time. I don't know anything about B flat, but he's really excited. So I let him talk
Like
about
the
it.
key?
Fine.
Like B flat, the key music?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like our ongoing joke is it's like if I make a video or something and it's about vulvas, he's like, I can't wait to teach you about B flat. It's like that's just the one that he thinks of. But he is talking about like music stuff all the time and I have no fucking clue what he's talking about a lot of the time. I just go, yes.
Absolutely, babe.
$5 from yeah, and it's just because he's so excited and I want to participate in something that someone that I love and care about is excited about. Like, I want to participate in their joy and their excitement and their interests and whatever.
Exactly.
Be nice. The fuck? It's not that hard.
Yeah.
$5 from, and also, sorry, last thing. What are you going to do when you have kids and they show you like the shittiest drawing you've ever seen in your life and you have to go, that is so gorgeous. Put it on the
This is why men are
fridge.
bad parents, though, because they will legitimately just be like, no response, don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. One time there's like a legendary story when my brother's the oldest, so he was the first kid in our family, and when he was little, he drew a car and my dad was like, "That's so good. I'm going to draw a car too." And he drew a car and it was like perfect and gorgeous, and my mom was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Like, why would you do
But
that?
it like didn't occur it like didn't occur to him that would like make my brother sad.
You're like stunting on a toddler right now. That's crazy.
Literally. No, like actually, that's actually what happened. Oh, it cracks
Wow.
me up. $5 from Lord Ben 6584. Oh my god, I'm gonna yawn. I'm so
We're so
sorry.
close.
You know when you yawn one time and then it's like over. This might make me sound like a madman, but I personally enjoy the sensation of tweezing hair out. I do it compulsively. Well, that's a different thing.
I do think it's a sensory seeking thing, perhaps. Like, it's a controlled kind of thing. You pull out the individual hairs and there's a direct kind of reaction. I think it might be something that people with
Mhm.
low proprioception do. Like if you have a fairly low body awareness, which I know a lot of autistic people and neurodivergent people can have. So that's just a hypothesis, though. I'm
What is
just
the
guessing.
what is the word that you said? What is that?
Proprioception. I think it's like the awareness of your body in space or something like that.
Okay, I have 0 of that. So much so that this is like a concern now because I am
You're very
literally
clumsy.
always bruised. I walk into I will walk into the corner of my house, this house that I've lived in for like 4 years, and I know this house, and I will walk into it so hard that I bruise. Like that's like the level of awareness that I have. Like I just have no idea what's around me, and it's gotten worse as I've gotten older.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you diagnosed ADHD? Because like
Yes.
it's like a cousin to being autistic, and it has a lot of the same
I
kind of like
know.
sensory issues and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that was one of those like when I wrote down all of the things and I gave it to my psychiatrist for the first time, the one that I was actually diagnosing and not doing a 10-minute friggin' call, which is whatever, a whole other conversation for a whole other day.
yeah.
She was immediately like, this feels very clear cut to me, actually, that this is what you have.
It turns out you didn't need to like justify it over the horizon.
No, I know. It turns out actually probably could have been done in the 10-minute call, but whatever.
Yeah. Thank you for the 5 from Jessica, who says, thanks for all the kind words to Linda and I. You are awesome for changing my life for the good. Love you, Linda XX. Hashtag Discord Lives Matter. Go fuck yourself, Jimmy. Hashtag love you soon. Yeah.
I love
Positivity
you
in the
soon.
environment. Mhm.
We need
What is
love
that?
you
What is that
soon
about?
merch.
Where
It
did love you
was,
soon come from?
someone was saying "love you, see you soon" to Jimmy. Now I can't remember who it was, and they combined it and said "love you soon." I think that's so cute.
Oh, see you soon and love
Really
you
sweet.
too got sliced. I see where it
Yeah.
happened. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
$10 from Green Man Dave. There is nothing to fear but fear itself and spiders. Thank you, Green Man Dave. Actually, I'm not scared of spiders.
Me neither. I love spiders.
They
I'm
don't
like,
bother
hey,
me.
buddy, I
Me
love
too.
jumping spiders. If I see a jumping spider in
No,
my
the
house and I'm like,
jumping.
hey, buddy, and it looks at you and it's like, I can see you and I know that you're a person.
Yeah. Yeah. I like spiders. They're very chill. They don't do anything. They kill other bugs. Whatever. You could stay.
I've had them like drop right in front of my face, like a very itty bitty baby spider in my office just like dropped on a thread in front of my face. And I'm like, there's a second where you go kind of cross-eyed,
Yeah.
but then you're like, oh, it's just you. You're fine.
It's just you.
Lord Ben,
Cute.
thank you for the $5, who says, what about the RLN guy? I thought that call was pretty impactful. Yeah, we had a caller on Sunday with Forrest and Owen who he came in all hot about like, he put none as his pronouns and all this. And he's like, I think all gay people are bad people, like just not good. And he did say during the conversation that it was because of a situation where he had been victimized as a younger person, presumably. So Forrest kind of spun into like I think what people call like radical compassion. Just like, I am so sorry that happened to you. There is no situation under which that's acceptable. You deserve so much better. And also that does not justify your bigotry. And it was such a fruitful conversation. And the caller cried a little bit because of the compassion that he was being shown. And I'm like, good. We genuinely made a difference in someone's life, I think, to turn them from being like, I hate gay people to then like being willing to go to an LGBTQ resource center to make friends and meet people, which it was incredible. I love Forrest. He's
That's
great.
amazing. Ugh. I want to watch that call.
Yeah, totally. Sunday show this week was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
It sounds very eventful.
Yes. Okay, there's the next one.
5 was that pounds? Yes, it is. Okay, sorry. 5 pounds from Barbara Barrett, J8F. How many therapists does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the bulb must genuinely want to change. That's great. Thank you so much.
true.
That's a great one.
Thank you, $5 from President Starscream. Offerings for the Midnight Voidling. I'm not gonna go find him. I brought him up earlier. He's got arthritis.
Cutie.
I need to leave
So
him alone.
fluffy.
Yeah, he got a bath recently because he had fleas, so he's like the
Oh
cutest he's
no,
probably
he's
ever been.
traumatized.
Yes.
Oh, fluffy. $5 from Sapphic has now I'm like stuck saying Charizard, and I know that's not right. Sapphic Hazard. I still think you should institute a pop quiz at the end of every Andrew call to make sure he paid attention as a matter of policy. I think you're right.
Girl, you know you're gonna fail.
He should start taking notes.
That's true. Just start listening back. He needs to go back and listen to all the conversations and just think about all of the insane shit that he said.
Yes.
Self-awareness, Andrew. We'll get there. Thank you for the $10 from Shiloh, who says ditto to what Charizard said. Truly.
$5 from A Crunch. Just saying hi, and I love chewed gum. Thank you so much.
Thank you for $5 from Joshua Everett, who says Alyssa is way better than Kristen Stewart. Lux is better than most other Stewarts. Jimmy and Patrick possibly accepted. Decent calls tonight. Listen, I'm not going to stand on any disrespect for Kristen. Listen, she's on the hall pass. Duh.
Oh my god, she is forever on my hall pass. I just like love her. I don't know what it is. I love her. Have you watched the Happiest Season movie?
I'm going to for Christmas season because I didn't even know about it until recently, and I would love to see it.
Oh my god, you must.
Did you see American Ultra?
No. What is that? I don't know what goes on anymore. What's that?
Do you know anything about MK Ultra, like the CIA program?
No.
It's basically the idea of creating sleeper agents. Like, the idea of like you say a code word and it activates them. And she's in that movie and she's really good. It's like, if you've only seen her in fucking Twilight, of course you think she's a bad actress because that was a terrible movie.
Yes.
And also the character that she was trying to play was a blank slate. Like, listen, go read the first Twilight book and tell me that Bella Swan is anything but an absolute fucking blank slate for you to self-project onto.
Yes. Yes. 100%.
Anyway, thanks for $5 from Mr. Boricua, who says, very chill show this evening. Sorry I missed last show. Been dealing with health stuffs. Hopefully y'all are doing better than I. Y'all be well. Girl, I'm not even gonna. I'm not doing well on the health front, but
I hope you feel better. Yeah, both you guys. Hope y'all feel better.
I might just sleep on my beanbag chair tonight and see if that makes a difference.
Yeah, why not? That sounds nice. $20 from Valvifer 3122. Getting my Christmas bonus this week, so I have some schmeckles. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Happy Christmas bonus.
Thank you for sharing
That's awesome.
the love. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for $5 from Space Barbarian, who says Andrew calls are efficient. He has so many terrible ideas in his head that it's easy to find content-rich topics, and he's surprisingly chill. Listen, okay, so that's another reason why I like taking Andrew calls, because he will just take the abuse, and that is quite satisfying.
Yeah, he really, like, for what it's worth, he is really chill. He doesn't really fight back very much.
Yeah.
Not in like
he doesn't
a personal way.
Interrupt. Yeah.
Yeah. Weirdly, he's one of the people that like he doesn't, if he disagrees with you in a debate, he doesn't attack you personally most of the time. He still kind of like stays on the topic, which is shocking. So crazy. $5 from Lord Ben 6584. My greatest desire in the entire world is to become a socially avoidant lich, combining science and necromancy that I always was meant to be. I hope that you get there, my friend.
Gotta get your phylactery. Thank you for the 729 THB, which I looked up earlier and translates to roughly 22 United States dollars, from Science Lover, who says, spreading some holiday cheer. Indeed.
Thank you.
Happy Honda Days.
Honda Days. $5 from Lord Ben. Lord Ben, you are in the chat today. Thank you so much. I should give up controlling people, perform soul draining spell, and raise a cemetery full of undead minions. No thanks. I like having that 100% control.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for the 10 Australian from Darren, who says, the greatest gift you can give someone is to get them to tell you all about the thing that they love the most. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Express interest and
So
care about what's
sweet.
going on with them.
Tell me about B flat. I'm listening. $5 from Jamnick06. Aliashana Silverbow wants winter puns. So no problem. What did the one snowman say to the other? Do you smell carrots? Hashtag that joke slays. Hashtag chilarious. Very good. I love it. Thank you, Jamnick.
Thank you for $10 from Green Man Dave, who said, I don't know if this is an actual song. If I knew the tune, then I would sing it, but we got nothing to fear but fear itself, not pain, not failure, not fatal tragedy, not the faulty units in this bad machinery, not the broken contacts in emotional chemistry. I wish I knew the reference, but thank you.
Me too. Thank you so much. Maybe someone in the chat will tell us what song that is. I feel like I should know.
Perhaps. But they have a limited amount of time because that's it for Super Chats today.
We're done. Yay. Thank you so much, Lux, for co-hosting today when you didn't feel so great. I really appreciate it. We all really appreciate it. And it made for a really fun show. And thank you to Dragon for screening our calls today. Thank you to all of our mods in the chat. And to all of our chatters. We had a lot of chat peeps call in. It's awesome. Oh, that was a Rush song.
Oh, okay. I'm a fake fan.
Wonderful. Okay.
Patreon.com/call the line.
Yeah, and we're doing our mug competition soon. So
soon.
Everyone get ready. It's going to be awesome. Vote for my mug. You don't even know what it is yet, but you should. Because I lost last year. Thanks so much.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye, y'all.